Hi, welcome to Nia's Divine Garden. This is Dania. If you are listening to this, welcome to the podcast. If you are watching this, welcome to the YouTube channel. However, you're connecting, I am grateful. So, what is the topic? Um, Initially, yesterday morning, I just felt like I wanted to do something. I hadn't done a Soulful Saturday in a while, and I hadn't done like a live channel message. So I was like, maybe I'll just do just whatever comes up. So this garden chat, um, I think part of it was inspired by connecting with a classmate. And I was honored. This particular classmate, connecting with a reader was not something that they had done. And since then, we've talked so much. Like we had not actually verbally spoken to each other. We might have been in school, like a real talk. Like we were in high school the last time. So it's been at least 20 years. And even I realized I had not seen him on the Book of Many Faces in a while. So for him to come across, I did a special for 888, two card readings for $8.88 one day. And it was something I ran last year and it popped up in my memory. So I'm like, you know what? It's cool. Let's run it back. So I was really surprised. I'm like, I haven't seen you, blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden, boom, hey, here's my email address. I'm booking a reading. And I'm just like, all right, bet, say less. And if I'm honest, I really do like reading people who might be skeptical because when it comes, like, they're like, oh, and I'm like, it's legit. It is. It's legit. So I've been very grateful for him allowing me to hold space for him and him being open to receive. Um, and I'm always like, I'm grateful in general, but when Black men come to me and are open to receive, and that I realize more and more that some of my best students are actually Black men and they don't engage off like long. It's like they get their reading, I give them their homework, and all of a sudden they like put to the pavement. They're doing the work. And I'm just like, I appreciate that. Like I explained to him like this is an energy exchange. Like the payments for money is energy. So that's part of the energy exchange. But I always leave my clients with an inspired action. Every reading, whether the intention of the reading is specifically to get inspired action or you get a reading about a question, you will have homework. You will have an inspired action today. And to not only know when they circle back, it's the circling back for me that is always so appreciative as a teacher, as a mentor, as a guide. I appreciate this in my day job when I was mentoring more often. It like I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Like, yo, I did the thing that you told me and the thing worked and now blah 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 blah. I see them. I had one person who he I reached out because I was trying to figure out something how to like brand my coaching programs and what to say. And so I was like, what do I do for you? Like when I'm mentoring, coaching you, whatever that was, you considered what our relationship was early on. What did I do? And once he told me what I did, he went expounded. He said, I still quote you. And when people reach out to me, ask me questions about how to do this in my career, about that, and I quote you. You are who I quote. Like, and I give you credit for that. Like, I would not be in this position if it weren't for you. And that means so very much. Like, I don't know how to put it in words, how much that actually means to me, because there's not a lot of people who will say that. There is not a lot of people say, you know what? Like you kicked it off. And I'm just like, I appreciate it. I really do. And, speaking for other teachers and mediums and things like that, especially those of us that give you homework, they're like, this is what you need to do to change the situation, push the situation forward. If it's something good, they're like, here's how you keep the momentum going. This is just something you do to care for yourself, whatever it is. do what we ask. Like you came to us wanting advice in some education, advice, something in that capacity. So if we give that to you and something to do to further, either if it's knowledge, further imprint that knowledge into your being. If it's healing, to continue the healing journey, whatever it is, we give that to you. I mean, the least you could do is just implement it. And then to come back to us like, hey, it didn't work. But you won't know if it didn't work if you didn't even try. And that is draining, physically draining. Like it is draining to connect with people and they don't, you know, the energy isn't honored. So I guess I don't know what that was first thing. Um, so um, another thing I was thinking about, I think I'm gonna save the pouring for the class. So the another thing I was thinking about was perseverance and keeping going and manifesting your support. And this could be support for a project, events, business, whatever the case may be. And when I watch, I'm very grateful now because I feel like at this point I have kind of reworked what shows up in my social media feed where I don't see it as often. But I can understand the sentiment. I just feel like we don't have to continue to talk about it and thus manifesting it because whatever you focus on and you have an emotional attachment to and you focus on it a lot, you give it momentum to manifest. So for a while, there was just this continual rhetoric. People don't support you. People don't support you. Your friend, well, let me qualify that better. People posting like, and start a business, your family ain't gonna support you. Start a business, your friends ain't gonna support you. It's always gonna be strangers. It's never gonna be the people that you know. And I was really like, that's not, I'm gonna prove it's not true. I'm gonna prove that line of thinking is not true. I just really wanted there not to be a ring of truth to this. I wanted this to be a simple matter of algorithms and things like that. It's not them. They're not purposely not engaging. They're not purposely not being supportive. And what recently came up, watching someone post, is like, it's support is cool and we're grateful for the support, but I don't really want support. I want you to actually want to be a part of whatever I'm doing. And I realized I want that more. I appreciate every share I get. And if I'm honest, it's not always a lot. It's not. Even if I can tag, let's say I tag like 50, 30 people, because I'm late. I'm a lazy tagger. I'll be honest. I'm a lazy. People will be tagging like 99 folks. Bless you, because I do not have it in me to tag that many people. But let's say I tag like 30 people. That's probably a realistic estimation of how my tagging abilities. Um, four tops may actually share it. And this is not to, just four tops. But I still keep going. And you may be like, why? Why do you keep going? Why do you keep pushing? Why don't you just give up? And trust me, my ego has asked me that question. Has made that statement. You should just give up. They don't care. They don't care. What you're doing is not working. What you're doing doesn't matter. You should stop. And you have no idea how many times I've asked myself that. I got the biggest deposit from Amazon. Like I hadn't been, I purposely was not looking at my book sales. I was purposely not looking at it. And it's funny to me sometimes it's like, well, what's the title of your book? And I want to go, which one? Because technically, like I have three pure, a, it's a poetry book, three of them published. I have one that is a poetry book, but it's also a book you can use for bibliomancy. I did channeled messages in the form of poems for the entire month of August. And that's what that book is. And it's got journal pages. So it's all four. And I have two journals published. So technically, I have six published works out there. Six since 2020. Sorry, I think I published the first one in 2019. So since 2019, so it's 2022, I have six published works available for purchase. And I remember the first one. I was so excited. And it was wild because was texting somebody. I was texting the person that was my woman best friend at the time. And we're texting, and I got the email, like your book is available. And Amazon gives you this window of time, and it showed up available faster than I expected. And I was just like, I have a published book. My book is published. And so I'm like wigging out, and I'm so, so, so excited. I'm so excited. But I will be completely transparent. There was a hesitancy in telling her. And I'm like, why are you hesitating? Like, this is your best friend. You're supposed to tell them. So this is where you could, like, the energy was different. So I'm like, I did a thing. And she's like, well, what did you do? And then I sent her, told her, like, I published a book. She's like, for real? Send her the link. Published a book. Now you would think, this is your best friend, like, probably like first person purchase it, first person and hyping it up. No. One of my mentees was the first person to buy my book. Um, he helped me, I think, pick the book cover. And so I sent him a message and I said, hey, FYI. And I sent him the link. And then he sent me a screenshot that he bought it within minutes. That's not support. That's love. That's appreciation. That is, I know what you can do and I enjoy what you do. And I would like to be a part of what you're doing. Like that's what that energy is. And more and more I'm realizing that is what I'm cultivating. It's not simply, yes, I want the financial support is absolutely part of the manifestation, but it's not the only part. It isn't, I'm going to do your reading one time. It's the repeat. And it's not that you need to get readings on all the time, but yes, I want to be your reader. Like I want to be your diviner of choice. There we go. That's the way to put it. Because you enjoy connecting with me in that level and you feel like you learn from me. And what I love is there's a place I go here in town and do readings where there are people who are like, I run into people who shop there and they'll say, hey, FYI, your reading came to pass. And I'll be looking to get it. And like they'll be like the last time this happened, she's like, what you said actually came transpired already. It's already transpired. And her friend was like, do you have a card? So I gave her my card. She's like, yeah, I'll be in touch. And so it's little things like that. It is the fact that this particular location trusted me to come do this when I had only ever done it one time before. And since I've done it, they give my card out like it's candy. Like it's candy. Like every once in a while, I'll just get a random email. Hey, I got your card at the apothecary. Do you have some time to be able to do a reading? Or I'll get like they may not even tell me initially, and I'm just like, especially if it's an email, I'll be like, how the frick did you find me? And they'll say, it's from the apothecary. So gratitude. I appreciate that. But that's not simply just support. That is an uh an admiration, an appreciation. We believe in you. We have faith in you. We know that you're amazing. And thus, we want to ensure that other people know that you're amazing. That's not simply just support. It's not simply, oh, I know you, so I'm going to do this because, I know you. It's like an obligatory thing. No, this is, they want to. They are joyful in how they do this. And that is so much more important than simply clicking share just because it's a right, there have been times where I said, all I want you to do, if I gave you a reading, free or otherwise, can you give me a review? That's it. Can you just write something up? You don't even have to put your name on it. You can do it anonymous, just to say you had this experience with me, what you got from it, so that others will know. But you still keep going because then you'll have an experience like what I had. I had a show. Somebody asked me to come and do poetry for their show, and there were other artists and things like that there. And there was this woman. She's the wife of somebody else that I had met, but I had not yet met his wife. And so I said, I'm like, oh my God, she's here in person. Oh my God. And it was immediate love. When I say love, love, immediate. And what she said to me, she's like, I don't always catch your life, but I watch it. And she said, I remark on the fact that it doesn't matter how many people are on there. Your energy is exactly the same. It's the same as 1, 10. It doesn't matter. Your energy don't change. And she said to me the same thing someone else said to me recently. Everybody ain't ready to hear what you have to say. Everybody's not there, but you have to keep going. Do not give up. What you're doing is important. Understand, just because you can't see that they're interacting with it doesn't mean they're not interacting with it. Because I'll be honest, I'm not the best on social media with the likes and everything, but I am interacting with your stuff and I am receiving nourishment from it. You have to keep going. And I took everything in me not to cry. Went to a show. I wasn't in the show, went to another show in June. And the gentleman stopped me and he said, you know, I see your stuff and everybody ain't ready for your message. He said, but you have to keep doing it. And the most profound thing he said was, I like he said, I've been watching your growth. I've been watching it. And I'm so glad that I've gotten to meet you. And I'm powerful. He said, but I'm gonna be honest, I think you're more powerful. You know what that's like? I don't even know how to put that in words. To first off, because to have a man to tell me as a womb holder that he can tell I am more powerful. Like, and this was not to say I knew I was. This was just to like in that moment, I was like, wait, what did he say? And he was so serious and so sincere with it. And I was just like, okay, all right. And even like I felt my spirit like swell, like that's the truth. That's the truth. And I was like, okay, you have to keep going. You may not see the money right away. You might not see the engagements right away. You might not see the clients right away. You might not see any of it right away. But your spirit and your team and your ancestors are telling you have to keep doing this. You have to, it's bigger than that. It's bigger than that. And that sometimes is hard work. It's not the work itself is hard. I love doing divination. Like real talk, I love it. I love it so much that if I have a whole day of like readings and things like that, I will forget to eat. I won't have a desire to eat because I will be full. It's not that I forget to eat. I will be so full spiritually, emotionally, and mentally that my physical body doesn't need anything. I am full. I am fully nourished in that moment. When I'm teaching, when I have a class, I am excited. I am geeked. I am full. Poetry, I am full. When I get called to just do healing, I am full. The money, it's going to come. The money is going to come. The wealth, the prosperity, I promise you it's going to come. It is. It's going to come. This is what faith looks like. It is knowing that the unseen will be seen soon. And our perception of time is a construct. Continue to do your work. Continue to persevere. Continue. Do not compare your journey with anyone else's, anybody else's. There are plenty of people out there, and you're gonna see them. You're gonna see the people doing the things. You don't think I don't see these terrorists with 1 million followers? You don't think I don't see them with all the big houses and the cars? And I'd be like, but you don't know what their journey was to get there, and their journey and your journey ain't the same. You have to have faith. and keep going and persevere. So whatever your gift is, if you do makeup, if you make clothes, if you paint, if you sing, if you dance, if you cut hair, if you cook, whatever that thing is that God has put on you and says, this is the experience I want to have as you in this incarnation, do it. Do it and know that if it is meant to be, because not every purpose and path is going to be the career, but if you have gotten that call and know this is also supposed to be my job, this is not supposed to just simply be my life's work, it's supposed to be the work of my life, you got to keep going. Do not stop. Do not give up. Do not stop. And do not quantify. Do not, just don't care who supports you. That's the word. Do not care. Do not have an attachment. Oh, I wish my friends would be there. I want my family there. Yes, you can want your friends and family there, but do not make that the thing that defines your success. Manifest those who are absolutely aligned to your energy and the energy of the thing that you are creating, putting out there, doing, whatever the case may be. Have the universe draw them to you. Let the universe bring them to you and believe it. Do not give up. Believe it. Believe you have a sold out show. Because that's what I just heard in my head. Sold out show. Believe you have a sold out show. And it don't have to be a single face of anybody you know in that building. Nobody you know has to be there. As long as it's sold out, that's all you care about. And that's it. That's the only thing. All them plates sold. It don't matter who bought the plates. As long as the money is from the highest sources and these people are enjoying your gift and are coming back for more, it don't matter. It does not matter. Keep going. Keep pushing and keep persevering. Somebody needed to hear that. Maybe it was me. Maybe it was somebody else. Ashe. Um, we're gonna start with the brothers first. My beautiful brothers. I feel like I've done this more than one time, so I'm going to try to keep this part as short as I can because I've done at least one podcast episode and a YouTube video to ask y'all to stop minimizing yourselves. This notion that the only thing you are good for is armed guard, armed guard, check bringer, Bob the Builder. You are so much more. You are so much more. And understanding the protecting, the providing, the presence, these P's that y'all like to just wear on your chest like this makes me a man. No, you define what makes you a man. And then stop limiting yourself to being just a man and define what you are as a God. You are so busy trying to mimic the masters. Oh, yeah, that's what I said. The master's expression of manliness that you have forgotten your ancestral expression of godliness. Whether you sat on a throne, whether you helped build your home, whether you were a farmer, a metal worker, I heard welder, um, a roots worker, all of you, gods, gods among those men. You have forgotten your place, your station in this cosmos. You have forgotten your infinite nature. You have limited yourself in false platitudes, false notions of what it means to be a man, and you have never been meant to be simply as a man. Man and woman, he and she, in our image, our image. Okay, this came out. I'm going to say it the way it came. I am God and you are like unto me. Your limitation is only that of your physical vessel, and even that is more limitless than you perceive it to be. You're taking all of these stories of old that a man will take them as fact. You're not using your intuition because you are disconnected from your feminine self, not the womb holder. In here, your feminine self, the part of you that understands your limitless nature, you're disconnected from it. You don't allow your emotions to express because you deem it unseemly when it is godly to allow yourself to fully express this fullness of this experience because that is what I came here to do as you. You're not meant to limit yourself to false narratives. You are meant to be more than anything and anyone. You are meant to be you and me and all and everything and nothing. The limits, the boundaries you put on yourself, that is why you do not attract your mate, not your true mate, because you have limited yourself to what it means to be a mate. And it is a mate that you are meant to be, not a leader. You are not in charge of your partner. You are the mate, the match, the person that they can balance their ego with, and you balance with theirs. That is where your abundance lies. That is where your prosperity lies. Feminine energy is abundant, just like she said. It is the limitless possibilities of the richness and blessings of your life. But these things are often intangible, and that is why it is feminine energy. It's not that only womb holders have it, you have it too. Until you reconnect with yourself, it'll be a challenge for you to connect with her because you must be able to see yourself in her, and she must be able to see herself in you. Ooh, for the men, yes, for God seeking gods, this is also your truth. You're still looking for the balance of the divine feminine, divine masculine. The vessel doesn't matter. Your mate will balance you. And you are God, regardless of who you love. Loving is godly. Ooh. Ooh, I love that. Wait. Wait, loving is godly. I love that so much. Hmm. Okay, brothers, I love you. Sisters, queens, empresses, goddesses. I saw this womb holder outside of Walmart today, and she came out with a shopping cart. Still something amiss. Went in, got what I needed. When I was walking back out to the car, I saw her again with the shopping cart. Sadness on her, the need. I put myself in the car and I had been riding around with some cash. I don't often have cash on me, but I was riding around with some cash and I grabbed it. And I went to put my shopping cart up and I walked all the and I was like, I was hoping I got there before she went inside. And she was already inside. So I stuck my head in to see if I could see her. And she was right there. So I ran up to her. I said, tapped her on the shoulder. She turned around and I slid the money in her hand. And she smiled. The big, oh my God, her whole face lit up. And she says, "You look so familiar to me." I don't know this woman. Maybe she knows my spirit. I don't know. Maybe she knew me in another lifetime. I don't know. But I looked at her and I said, a goddess always acknowledges another goddess. Oh man, her whole like I could feel her. Like it was such a beautiful, quiet exchange. There wasn't a big show about it. I just went and I said, "You take care, Queen." And I left. Didn't make a big spectacle of it. But it further shows how disconnected womb holders, especially as Black ones, are from our divine selves, from our divinity. This is a disclaimer that this is not a condemnation of any Abrahamic faith. You don't see yourself in God. You see Him in God, and even He don't see Himself in God. What a quandary. But you definitely don't see yourself in God. Because the moment some of you hear some of us say gratitude to our divine mother, you clutching your pearls. Because you can't even fathom that mother is God. The universe and all that we know exists was birthed, but you can't see yourself as God. Everything started in a womb, calabash. Big Bang was enclosed, controlled. You walking around, especially some of you who have birthed a life, but this doesn't mean this is not limited to those who birth a human life, but like real talk. Those of you who have carried a life in your being, if you believe that life has a soul, don't you? That's across all like science and everything. There's a soul, like there's an energy, and you believe that energy came from God, not realizing that energy is God. But we'll get there. But that energy came from God, so it had to get into the body. Anytime something has to go in something, there must be an opening. Anytime something needs to get somewhere, it's got to go through an opening, a doorway, a portal. Where do you think that is? You the one carrying the baby. Where do you think that door lives? But you still believe the story told to you that you need to be led to God. Why do you think there's a like the common notion that men say that when they are with the right womb holder, it's like intimately, it's like being in heaven? Because they are. because they are. You are the gateway to heaven. Yes, you are. Whether you choose to bring a birth a child into this world or not, the very mere notion that you were born with a womb, you don't even have to identify as a woman to still be a womb holder. The mere fact that you were born with one means that portal is with you. Whether you still hold the physical manifestation of the doorway or not, the energetic doorway is always with you. Energy is neither created nor destroyed. The energy of that door, that portal, is always within you. So, where? So, if you want to find a connection to your creator, you go within. Your connection to your creator is within. And much like what I said to our brothers, God created man and woman in our image. See, you get so hung up on this extra piece of a story that was thrown in here due to bad storytelling. The book is an anthology of stories written by the limited understanding of humans. Then it was mistranslated a multitude of times to get it into the language that you now read today. But some of their truths are still there. Man and woman, he and she in our image, beholding the divine feminine and the divine masculine, the manifestation of which will vary from person to person. You want feminine energy to be soft, supple. Nurturing can be soft. Nurturing can also be hard. It can be firm. It can even be a little aggressive if you're really trying to protect somebody. Oh, did you only think that men were at had the monopoly on protection? Men have and this is, depends on how their masculine energy manifests. Masculine protection comes through will, through force, through exertion, through divine feminine energy also protects. It is more subtle. It is emotional. It is spiritual. Because feminine energy is spiritual. The spiritual self of any soul on this here earth, in this here domain, is feminine energy. Because feminine energy is the unseen realm. Masculine energy is that which is physical and tangible. Feminine energy is the ideas, the concepts, the shadows, the things that you can't see, the things that you can't touch, the things that you can't understand. That's why, they say women are so confusing, they're so chaotic. That's because women who are really connected to their feminine selves may, when we're too far in our feminine energy, we can be chaotic because feminine energy is chaos. Masculine energy helps us hold it together, gives form to the chaos. This is where physical manifestation comes from. We need the ideas, the possibilities, the limitless potential, all of these things coalescing. And then when we see it like, there it is, there it is, there it is, and then we want to give it form, that is us harnessing our masculine energy. Oh, cool, it's time for us to take action. It's time for us to do this thing. That is us tapping into our masculine energy. We're not trying to be men. We are tapping into our divine nature, which is both feminine and masculine. Some of us are inherently more forceful presenting in our energy, and some of us are more subtle in our presentation and more feminine. This has nothing to do with how we dress. Nothing whatsoever to do with how we dress. The constructs of man and woman are not reflective of the energy of feminine and masculine. Two different ideas, two different sets. But do not forget that the Black woman is the mother of all. We can birth anyone into existence. We can birth anyone, any shade, any color into existence. But you struggle to see yourself as a goddess. Everything starts with us. Every idea starts with us. Um, I watched a video, and this is the perfect thing. I can't culturally appropriate myself. Mm, that's a whole word. You can't. You absolutely cannot. Absolutely. You can't. Everything started here. Everything. Everything started here. You are so much bigger than you allow yourself to be. But you have fallen into a false narrative that tells you that your strength and power will keep your partner away. And this is not the truth. This is not the truth. Your strength and power are your birthright, just as your partner's strength and power is theirs. You will bring harmony to each other. You will know if they're the one, because they will not need shades when you shine it. You can be absolutely as bright and big as you want to be, because they're going to be as bright and big as they want to be. Oh, like solar flares. Mm. I encourage you to see beyond the pages of a book. Learn how to tap in, because that's where God is, living right there in your body, within your physical body. The example is from the movie Dogma, where John Doe Jersey, both knows John Doe Jersey is God, but also kind of doesn't know, you know? And the the notion that God would get trapped in a human body and had to be released from his mortal coil in order to come back to his actual form, and then was a woman. That frightened some of you womb holders. You've been praying to a he, and you would feel blasphemous if you switched a pronoun, as if God is limited to one pronoun. With love, you sound ridiculous. With love, you want to say a prayer to Yeshua, but you won't even address Yeshua by his actual name. Then who are you saying your prayers to if that's not his name? Hmm. Hmm. Maybe you should ask him, do you want to be called the other name or your actual name? If it was you, what would you want to be called? And then the notion that God only has an Obama phone. That's the one right there. God only has an Obama phone. God ain't got but one phone number, and it ain't got the best signal, so you got to be standing in the right place at the right time in order for God to hear you. Really? God ain't got but an Obama phone? Dang. Not even Metro PCS? Wow, Lord. That's something. That is really something. So you can't hear me? I give to charity all the time and I'm always taking care of the homeless and I take care of all these kids and I do all these good works, but I don't have the right signal. Like when you really think about it logically. Put the book down. Go into your heart. The source of all that you know exists. All, everything, all. That means it's not limited to this little less planet. All the planets, all the stars, all the suns, all the moons, all of the dimensions, all the galaxies, all the universes. All. The source of all, everything has one phone number. Okay. This is not a knock. This is just a little seed. You can either water it or not. Totally up to you. It doesn't mean that your way isn't the right way. It doesn't mean that your way is wrong or anything, but it is yours. Someone else's way is theirs. No one way is the way. There is just a way because you have to find your own path. This is your soul's journey and how the Most High wanted to experience giving reverence to their self, what I'm saying, will vary. And all powerful, all knowing creator of everything that we know existed wouldn't have made a mistake and said, oopsies, boo boos, there's multiple ways to get my attention. I really only wanted one way. Really? Ludicrous. Audacity, tomfoolery, and shenanigans. Like I said, not a knock. Just decide. Make a decision. That's not based on what you were told, based on what your spirit decides. Your spirit may very well have come here to only do it a specific way. That's great. You have tapped in and you know. It just doesn't mean that's everybody else's. This doesn't mean it's everybody else's. Honor the truth of who you are. Everything else will fall into place. Some of you are fighting against the tide. Transformation wants to take hold of you and you're running away from it because you didn't grow up thinking this way, because you think you're being blasphemous. And the way it came across was like, really? I do not care. That's what I heard. I care about your joy. I care about your peace of mind. I care that you are experiencing life the way that I intended to experience it. Period. Period. That's it. Self love truly is an act of worship. And sometimes self love is stepping away from the ideals of your parents, stepping away from traditions that don't work anymore, and cultivating your own legacy that is just built on authenticity, love, and truth. And that is where you find your peace of mind. And that's where you find God. Okay, I think that was all the messages I was meant to share. Yes, all the messages I meant to share. So I hope that something I said made you feel inspired. Take an action towards yourself. Um, because when you take action towards yourself, you're taking action towards God. So I hope that you choose to do that. I hope that on your journey, as God, to God, with God, you have that moment where she whispers in your ear and says, I am so proud of you. Just know when it happens, I'm proud of you too. Thank y'all so much for listening and or watching. And y'all have a great day, night, evening, whenever you come across this. Take care.